Socrates once believed that writing would be the end of human memory, and horses were eventually replaced by cars. Now, we're starting to see rapid improvements in AI, and a lot of people have started to question, will a computer take over my job? This question has plagued humanity since the dawn of time. But just like paper and printing wasn't the end of human memory, we, sadly, won't be seeing the end of employment anytime soon. In today's video, we will discuss the relation between AI and labor, how AI will impact our work identities, and how AI can be implemented unethically and ethically. By the end of the video, you'll have a brighter outlook on AI and the future of work. Before we get started, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and continue the conversation by leaving a comment or by making a reaction video. So the question is, will AI replace us? The short answer is kind of. The long answer is a little more complicated. There are three ways that AI and technology augments labor. One, it replaces and destroys currently existing tasks that can be accomplished by humans. Two, it supports and assists humans in the completion of tasks. And three, it creates brand new jobs and tasks that humans can accomplish. Before there was computers, a computer was actually a profession held by professional mathematicians. After the rise of our computer overlords, that role was no longer filled by humans. It was replaced by computers. Machines didn't destroy math jobs. Instead, it made it easier for humans to perform intense calculations, and it created and advanced the fields of machine learning and applied statistics. Let's look at how technology improved and augmented the math profession. 1. The computer replaced the need for human calculators, and now the average Joe can calculate the square root of 2, which is actually really hard to do without a calculator. 2. Wolfram Alpha exists, and now it can help you finish your math homework and your calculus homework, but it can't really get you all the way there when you're doing really hard theoretical math problems. It can only do individual steps and get you closer to the right solution. 3. Computers helped create the modern data economy, and new jobs were created to be held by math professionals like data scientists and machine learning engineer. The same phenomena with technology can be seen in the art world with Adobe. Adobe came out with a suite of design and photography software, and as a result, we no longer see the use of physical darkrooms for photo processing. 2. Now, computers serve a vital and critical role in the job of photographers, and it speeds up the rate at which photographers can produce and publish their photography. And 3, it gave rise to the modern graphic design job, and now we have new high-skilled jobs such as CGI artists and 3D modelers. Before we go any further, it's important to note that when I say labor-intensive jobs, what I mean is that these are jobs that require humans in order for them to be completed. I'll be the first to admit that in an ideal world, AI and technology would only serve to increase human productivity because you will no longer need to pay wages or find labor to fill a certain type of job. However, we don't live in an ideal world. We live in a capitalistic world. Therefore, most of the AI that's being created has the intention of increasing human productivity, but in reality, it is being developed with the goal of replacing human labor with cheap, autonomous labor. This is why it's called automation technology. This type of automation has the potential of creating detrimental effects on the economy and on employment because it increases inequality. Earlier we mentioned that AI has the possibility of creating and destroying new jobs. It is in this process and cycle of creation and destruction that we start to see a rise in inequality. Why? Because automation typically tends to destroy low-skilled jobs first. The new jobs that are created are often jobs that need to be filled by high-skilled workers. The new high-skilled jobs are often favored by highly educated workers, as we saw in our art example with CGI artists and 3D modelers. This is where inequality starts to come from. However, this inequality only happens in the short run. In the long run, what we see is that new labor-intensive jobs start to become normalized and the high-skilled jobs start to become standardized. If we rewind the clock 300 years, most of the labor that was available was working on a farm. This was the way of life. Fast forward 100 years and we hit the Industrial Revolution. Technology has made farming easier, and now everyone's working inside of a factory. Fast forward even more until now, and automation technology has replaced the need for humans on the assembly line, and so the population has shifted to working service jobs as the main type of labor-intensive job. What we can see is that over time, technology replaces the need for labor in a certain type of field. The displaced workers move to a new type of labor intensive job in a different field, from farming to factories to service work. This massive labor shift does have a detrimental effect on society and communities. Once farming started becoming more automated with technology, we started to see a massive population shift from smaller rural communities to larger metropolitan areas where factory work can be found. Once machines started replacing the need for humans in the car assembly line, we started to see the massive economic decline of major automotive cities like Detroit. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Over time, these cities and communities that were impacted by these massive population shifts did start to see their economies revitalized. For instance, the Rust Belt's labor force was hit hard by automation technology, but now we are seeing their economies start to become revitalized by a new type of labor intensive job, making microchips. Even now, in a world dominated by computer jobs, we see the rise of new labor intensive jobs that need to be filled in order to make our economy work. What our profession is and what we do for work gives us a sense of identity. We can further extrapolate this into who we interact with on a day to day basis and the kinds of activities that we do. As an engineer, I can say that I write and review code. I can further expand on this by saying that I have a tech job. So I can fit into the greater tech community and network with other engineers or other tech industry employees. Why do I bring this up? Because how we react to increased automation will depend on how automation will impact our ability to do functions related to our work identity. Your reaction to a certain type of AI will depend on whether that AI threatens or enhances your ability to do things associated to your work identity or work functions. Let's take music for example. AI threatens to replace musicians because AI can do the same thing that a musician can do, therefore threatening the work identity and work functions of someone who creates music. This can be really upsetting for musicians who get a sense of accomplishment through the process of creating music. It is therefore expected that anyone who creates music will have a negative reaction to the increased use of automation in the process of creating music. On the other hand, AI has a possibility of enhancing the work-related identity of, say, a YouTuber or a content creator. As a content creator, your main purpose is to create good content. Music may be a part of that process, but it does not entail your work identity. As a result, a YouTuber is much more likely to have a positive reaction to the increased use and automation of AI music because it brings them closer to their true work identity, which is to make good YouTube videos. AI music can assist in this because instead of the YouTuber having to research and understand music copyright, they can use AI music tools to create a certain track to fit the mood of their video. If AI is being implemented in a way that eliminates a part of a job that workers find as vital to their work identity, then they will have a negative reaction and see AI as a threat to their job. On the flip side, if AI brings someone closer to their true work identity, then they will have a positive reaction to the increased use and automation of AI in their job. As we continue to increase the use of AI in the workplace, we should be aware of how AI will impact certain worker identities. To mitigate this impact, business leaders can give more training to employees on how to use AI in their work. This allows employees to have a greater sense of control on the business decisions and tasks related to their job, which will allow employees to preserve their worker identity and overall increase the relationship between technology and labor. Not all AI is bad. The one type of AI that everyone is worried about right now is the type of AI that threatens to replace creatives, such as DALL-E 2 and OpenAI that is able to write and create beautiful works of art. Some might say works of art that are better than what humans can create. People in the creative industry are really worried about this type of AI taking over their job, if not replacing their job, reducing an already low demand for creative talent in the workforce. But I don't think that will happen, because as I covered earlier, AI is trained on datasets that humans have already created. Therefore, AI, in a way, is limited to what humans have already created. In 2022, I went to a Q&A panel that had art professionals and art professors where we were able to ask them any kind of question. The panel included artists in different industries, from a children's book illustrator, to a product designer, to a graphic designer. I asked them the question, how will AI impact your job? And their answers were really optimistic. The product designer said that their job was the most in danger because AI is able to create thousands of product designs in seconds. But there will still be a need for some human to ultimately go in and make the final decision on which design will be presented to the client. The children's book illustrator said that AI would make their job easier because instead of having to draw out every single page, the illustrator could go and use AI to produce pages in mass and then go in and pick the final ones that would go into the storybook and add some level of cohesion to the overall story. The graphic designers said that AI would speed up their work in a similar manner, where they would use AI to create an array of images that they could go in and pick which one to start from, go in and make the final edits, and finally present the final graphic to the client. All these panelists had a common theme. AI would make their work faster and easier. There would still need to be a human to go in and make the finishing touches, to correct the mistakes that the computer makes, to add that level of human touch to creativity. This is an example of ethical AI. Technology being used in the workplace to make the work easier. The AI is not replacing the artist. Instead, the AI is assisting the artist and making their job easier and faster. In short, AI won't replace the need for artists. It will just replace the need for Pinterest as a source of inspiration.